I want to ask you about one of your policy positions on firearms. You have said that you're for mandatory buybacks of semi-automatic rifles. So there are tens of millions of these rifles in circulation now, and presumably some large number of people won't feel like selling them to the government. What do you do with those people?
Well, it's a good question, Tucker. Look, I think if you get to the point, which we have to in this country, where we ban assault weapons, we've seen the horrifying impact. And Tucker, let me make it very human for you. I run the biggest school system in America, 1.1 million kids. We're doing active shooter drills regularly now. I hear from parents all the time. I go to town hall meetings. They're more worried now about their kids than I've ever seen because they really think an active shooter situation could happen because it's become a norm in this country. And obviously that almost always involves assault weapons. We've got to end the availability of assault weapons in this country. So I think if there was a ban on assault weapons and there was a buyback program, the vast majority of people, I think, would do the smart thing and they would sell them back. I don't have a specific answer for you.
But millions, but hold on, millions wouldn't. So, but you would have law-abiding people like me and like a lot of people I know who have hunting rifles that fall under assault weapon category, and the cops would show up and say, give us your gun, and they would say no. And you would have, unfortunately, tragically, you would have cases of violence. Are you okay with that?
Tucker,
That's inevitable.
I'm being honest with you. I think anyone in public life should say, you know, when we think we have an answer or where there's something we still have to work out. What I know is this. We cannot have assault weapons in our society. We've seen the devastating impact. They need to be banned. And that means, by definition, you don't leave millions and millions of them out there. The buyback's the obvious approach. How we deal with someone who doesn't want to participate in the buyback, that's something we have to resolve going forward. But to me, the logic you start with...
Do you have a definition of assault weapon? I mean, because a lot of deer rifles would qualify as an assault weapon.
Look,
would those be taken too?
I think the fact is that I'm someone who understands under the Second Amendment there are going to be plenty of appropriate weapons that people can use for self-defense, for hunting, if they're sportsmen, if they're marksmen. There's all sorts of weapons that still would qualify for people to have. But the military-grade assault weapons, those just don't belong in the hands of everyday people.
Would you subject your bodyguards to the same limitations as other American citizens?
Again, Tucker, I respect you, but that's a question that makes no sense whatsoever. If you have sworn law enforcement officers...
Of course it does. If I can't have... Oh, of course it does. I've got a family just as you do. I have a lot of threats against me just as you do. Hold on, slow down. You get free bodyguards.
No.
I don't. No. You have bodyguards living at your house. No, me.
By definition, if you're a public
You've got bodyguards living at your house. I know some of the bodyguards living at your house, okay? And they've got magazines that I can't protect my family with.
Right.
Does that bother you as a champion of the little guy?
Tucker, someone who serves in public service for a limited period of time, and in the society we're living in, I hate to say it, but public servants are vulnerable to violence in a different way. And our law enforcement
a lot of us are vulnerable to violence.
Absolutely, but our law enforcement officers are there to protect all of us, and they need
Does
the
it bother you that you get to certain guns to protect yourself and your family, but I can't use those to protect my family?
Any sense, because
it makes sense to me.
My whole life. Listen, I spent my whole life until very recently an average citizen with no different protection than you or any other American for a very brief period of my life.
Well, how about when you leave office? Will you pledge not to allow your bodyguards to carry any weapon that you would... Oh, of course you will. Yes, you will.
No, you don't have to have bodyguards.
Oh, yes, you will.
I don't.
Your bodyguards are outside our building right now, but you're saying... But I just want you to say, when you leave office, you will not allow anybody in your orbit to carry a weapon that you would ban
I don't intend
the rest
to
of
have
us from
bodyguards, but the point is, let's go back to what we were talking about. There should not be assault weapons endangering children in America, period. And whatever we have to do to get that done,
law-abiding citizens like me are not endangering children, okay? So if I can't protect my family with a gun, I don't think you should be able to protect your family with the same gun.
You don't think the assault weapons used in these horrible massacres are a problem in this country? I think they are. I think we've seen children killed in their schools with these assault weapons, and it has to end.
It's horrifying by lunatics. The guns didn't do it, the people did it.
They should not be easily available to so many people, and they are. They just are, and it has to end. It has to end.
But people in power shouldn't have special exemptions like the ones you're giving yourself.